everyone, it's Shawnee here from the Waterford store. I am the social media specialist in our store here. In today's video I showed you my makeup do's and don'ts, so I showed you all of the right things that you should be doing with your makeup and also all of the wrong things. So if you want to see, please keep watching. So to prep the skin, I'm taking the yellow primer. So this is a colour corrective primer. The best way to work this into the skin is to use a buffing brush so that it doesn't sit on the skin. The don'ts of this is to pat it on with a flat brush so it's going to sit on top of the skin and it's not going to sink in and absorb. For foundation, I'm taking 77 HD foundation. The do's of this is to buff it into the skin using a 38SS brush so it gets right into the skin and doesn't sit on top of it. The don'ts is I use my fingers, which I know some people do like to do, but it doesn't buff into the skin and it's just going to sit on top of the skin and fall kind of off the skin as you're applying it. For concealer, I'm taking 96 Under Eye Concealer, and the do's of this is to buff it into the skin. This is the key part with using concealer because otherwise it's going to crease. So I buff it in and then buff it out with my foundation brush. The don'ts, I used a flat concealer brush. So this is just going to pat the product on and it's not going to like absorb into the skin. So it's just going to sit on top of the skin and crease. For powder, you want to pat the powder into the skin so that it doesn't move the foundation underneath. So I'm using a 1SS brush and I'm literally patting that right into the skin. And for the don'ts, I am swiping the powder. So this is going to lift your foundation up from underneath it, which is what you don't want to do. For bronzer, I'm taking 64 powder and I'm buffing this into the cheekbones and onto the forehead using a 1SS brush. This is going to give a little bit of depth to the skin. For the don'ts, I'm buffing it right all over the skin on top of the foundation. This is going to make your face appear flat and it's going to give no contour to the face. Contour, I'm taking 507 contour on a 15 BJF brush. This is a smaller brush, so it's going to give a nice chiseled effect to the cheekbones. I'm not bringing this past my outer edge of the eye because that's when it's going to start getting mucky. So I'm just putting it onto the cheekbones and onto the forehead. And then for the don'ts, I'm bringing it down past my eye, which is what you don't want to do because it's going to just create a mucky effect on the skin. Highlight, I'm taking 52 Soft Sparkler on a 48SS brush and I'm popping this onto the highest points of my cheekbones. The brush is small, so it's going to give you a nice effect. If the brush is too big like I used on the don'ts, it's going to just spread all over the face and it's not going to give you a nice highlight. You can see here I used the 1SS brush to highlight and it literally spread the highlight all over the face. It nearly looks like bronzer, which is not the look you want to go for. For the do's of shadow, I'm taking 335 shadow and a 6SS brush. You need a fluffy blending brush for your shadow, there's no doubt about it. It literally does all the work for you, so you're just buffing it into the crease and it's going to do the work for you. For the don'ts, I used a 9S flat brush, which literally did me no favours. You can see here, it just looks so bad. For draw the lips, I just went in slightly and just slightly overdrew my upper lip. For the don'ts, I overdrew both and I extended it out quite a bit so you can clearly see my cupid's bow, which is not what you want to do. You want to make it appear natural but slightly overdrawn. For applying lipstick, you're just applying in between the lines of the lip liner that you've just created. I'm using 311 from the Lip Satin collection here on my lips. This is a fab colour and it goes so nice with the 854 lip liner. So I think this is the part that people struggle with the most. Lashes, the ones I'm applying are the 30 ends. So what I done was I popped them on my eye without any glue to measure them so I can see how much I had to cut off, and then I cut off whatever I needed to. I applied a thin layer of duo glue and I let it dry for about 30 seconds so it goes tacky. I apply it on, I stick in the inner corner and then stick in the outer corner. For the don'ts, I didn't cut the lash and I applied on the duo glue. I didn't leave the duo glue dry and I put it straight onto the lash so it's not going to stick correctly. As you can see, it just fell off on me. So you want to make sure that you leave it dry and then stick it on. So you can see this one on the left hand side looks battered and it's fallen off, and the one on the right hand side is sticking on because I let it dry and I've cut it to the correct shape. Is the finished video. I hope you all learned one or two things and there's some things in this that you'll take away and be able to put into your own makeup routine. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in our next video.